Hi. Okay. A bunch of you have asked about this last problem 15 on set 5.1b, right? So let's go through this. This is fair enough that you don't know how to do this. I didn't really give you a good example. So let's talk about this. So, all right. So on mine, I gave me an example of 14-inch diameter for the wheels, and the rubber part is 4.8-inch tires. And if your car's instruments are probably calibrated, how many times should your tire rotate per second if you're traveling 45 miles per hour? Okay, so that's really bright. There we go. Maybe I'll put it up here so it's not quite so bright. All right, so I want to go from 45 miles per hour, there we go, to rotations per second. All right, and I'm going to move me up here so that, by the way. Okay, 45 miles per hour. All right, so I need to get to rotations per second. That's my goal. Okay, so let's just think about this for a minute. Here, let's go from miles per hour. Let's get to seconds. So 1 hour is 60 minutes, and 1 minute is 60 seconds, right? I'm letting the units guide me. I promise if you don't write out all the units and write things like fractions like this, you will get lost if you just try to do this all on your calculator. All right, so now we're in miles per second. So I can say 1 mile is 5,280 feet, right? And 1 foot is 12 inches. Nice. Okay, so now I'm at inches per second. I want to give you rotations per second. So how can I do that? Well, one rotation of a wheel is going to be how much forward momentum for this car, or what is it, a car, I think. How much forward momentum? Well, that's going to be the circumference, right? Okay, well, the circumference is going to be half this diameter, so 7 inches. My radius. So, okay. That's a bad circle. Here's my wheel, right? And that has radius of 7 inches because my diameter is 14. And then this out here is 4.8 inches, right? So 7 plus 4.8 is going to be 11.8 inches is my radius. So my circumference is 2 pi r. 2 pi times r. So 2 pi times 11.8 inches. Okay, so here we go. Here's so 2 pi times 11.8 inches per rotation. That was the key, right? That's going to so now my units are in rotations per second. Perfect. So I still have a bunch of numbers. I don't even know what they're all going to be. 45 times 5280 times 12 divided by 60 times 60 times 2 pi times 11.8. And this is going to be rotations per second. So I could put all that in my calculator and get the answer for my first part, right? So now let's do the second part B. Now I get bigger tires. True story. This actually happened to my parents. They were like, when they were young and like didn't have any money, and they kept getting pulled over for speeding tickets. And they're like, what is going on? And it's because they had the wrong size tires on their car. So they always thought they were going faster than they thought they were. So don't do that. It really happens. So they put on tires that are bigger than their car thinks they are. The speedometer still thinks the tires are 4.8 inches, but actually they're this big, right? They have a new circumference. So the speedometer is measuring rotations per second and doing like backwards translation here to estimate how fast it's going, okay? But this number right here is bigger, right? Okay, so they think they're going 55 miles per hour, okay? So we're gonna have to find if this car is telling us that we're going 55 miles per hour, what is our rotation per second? Okay, well, 55 miles per hour. We're going to do this whole thing again. So this is my recommendation, is to not put things in your calculator as you go, because this is actually pretty handy to be able to recreate our thought process. Okay, so it thinks, so what is our rotations per hour if it measures that we're going 55 miles per hour? It thinks our tires are 12.8 inches. So this is going to be our rotations per hour, this thing here, right? The only thing that's different up here is 55 instead of 45, right? That's going to give us 55 times 5280 times 12 divided by 60 times 2 pi times 11.8 rotations per second, right? If we do all our units, whoops, second doesn't get canceled, feet, miles cancel, inches, we have rotations per second. Okay, so this is our actual rotation. So how fast are we actually going? Well, if our rotation is this, rotations per second, now we're going to have to undo a bunch of this stuff. You might be a little more clever than me and not have to go all the way down through miles, right? But let's go back. Let's find out how fast we're actually going. Okay, so one rotation is actually how far? Well, in this case, it's still going to be 7 inches, but now instead of 4.8, we have 5.45. That's going to be 12.45 inches. Okay, now let's undo a bunch of stuff. So 60 seconds per minute and 60 minutes per hour. So seconds cancels out, minutes cancels out. So now we have hours. Now we have to go from inches back to miles. So 12 inches per foot and 5,280 feet per mile. And inches cancels here. Okay, what are we going to get? Well, a bunch of stuff's going to cancel, right? 60 cancels with 60. 60 cancels with 60. Oh, wait, and this isn't 12.5, it's 2 pi. Right? That's circumference. So this 2 pi cancels with that. And 5280 cancels with that. And this 12 cancels with that. What are we left with? We're just left with 55 times 12.45 divided by 11.8 miles per hour. Was that all in a place you couldn't see it? I'm sorry, now you can see it. This is how fast we're actually going. So it's what we thought we were, our new circumference, or our new radius, divided by the old radius. Okay? I'm not going to say this, but you probably could do a shortcut, right? You're going to get the same thing with whatever your numbers are. Okay, and I'm not going to do part C for you. Okay, you can do part C following this model. Okay, hopefully this helps. If you still aren't sure, you can send me an email.